The Pokemon Legends ZA DLC grind isn't hard. You are. Hello everyone, I'm Houndura, aka Kevin, and today we're doing something a little bit different. I'm making this video to address something that it's not a big concern in the Pokemon community. It's just something that popped up right after the DLC launched, like maybe a day or so in. It's basically the entire idea that the Legends ZA DLC is just way too grindy for being a Pokemon game. I'm gonna pull up some tweets. I'm not gonna give names, but I'm gonna pull up some tweets showing, like, this is genuinely a thought people are having. One guy says, well, this DLC has just gotten way too grindy. Lots of complaints about the Indigo Disc being a grind fest, and now this being 1,000 times worse. This really is not the direction I want Pokemon to continue. Here's another one. So my thoughts on the DLC after a day. The story is great, game elements are great, and I'm enjoying it. What is not great is the grinding between the story points and how it's just perpetual grind for a hope and prayer to get what you want. That's not great. Another guy goes, bro, when I saw it asking me for 50,000 points, I audibly sighed. I'll bring that up in a sec, what he's talking about, the 50,000 points. Another guy goes, I'm more annoyed that multiple megas are not accessible because you have to play through the story or just wait until they are accessible. Like, man, let me use them to play through the DLC. 6 megas not playable from the start. The base game did that. A lot of the new megas were not accessible until certain story beats happened. Someone else goes, the fact that you don't gain XP in hyperspace is a question. What's the point of defeating wild Pokemon if they're not giving me XP? The pacing could be better. It feels like every time you want to explore hyperspace, you can't before you finish the main quest, which is absolutely not true. While you don't get XP outright for defeating Pokemon or doing stuff inside of the hyperspace, there are ways in hyperspace to get XP, and I will show that here soon. Editing Kevin here. I just came across another thing on Twitter that people are now complaining about. To get a particular Megastone, I'm not going to say which one it is because of spoiler reasons, you're going to need 999 Mega Shards. Now, if you were playing the base game, that would seem like a lot, right? Which I can agree with. But the amount of Mega Shards you get in the DLC, just from wandering around and clearing, like, the Mega Shards that are on the ground, you could have the 999 Mega Shards. Absolutely is not going to take you that long. Someone else goes, I had to grind for an hour to get the specific berries I needed to do the final boss. I wanted to cry. This is another thing that I don't think people realize. You do absolutely not need specific berries to make the donut items to fight the bosses. What the donuts go off of is specifically flavor profile. And I'll actually show you this right now. Let's head over to Ansha real quick. I don't remember exactly what the flavor profiles of the boss donuts were, but I just want to show this real quick. Like I said before, the boss donuts do not require you to have specific berries. While I will admit, the amount of flavor that a specific donut might need might require you to make specific combinations of berries to make it work. But overall, it is absolutely nowhere near as bad as what this guy says it is. I'll look it up and I'll show, like, an example on the screen in editing. But you absolutely do not need specific hyper berries in order to make those boss donuts. You really could, like, just mix and match whatever the fuck you wanted, barring trial and error, and get the boss donut within maybe a couple of tries. Like, some of the, like, really higher tier berries, I will admit, are kind of a little bit tedious to get, but I will show you how you can really just minimize the overall kind of grind for it, I guess you could say. Someone else goes, it might be grindy because we're not really supposed to do everything within a short time. I'm sure they want this DLC to last a while, but for someone who covers the game, I'm sure you need to do everything quick so you can have the info up. Yeah, like, for people like YouTubers or people who are making websites, for example, who want to get information out as fast as possible, maybe, right? I can sort of understand that. Obviously, it is their job. They make money off of their time put into, like, the game, for example, or, like, their YouTube, whatever the hell they do. But the difference comes in whenever you're talking to, like, your audience who largely is most likely not going to have the time to put into the game as much as you do. Someone goes, according to the person above, a game is bad if you can't rush it in a few hours to upload all the contents to a news site. Yeah, going back to the fact that people want to cover the game are generally on a time limit before other people eventually get like their website up or like a YouTube video about it. Or people who are just going through the game looking for information if they're like stuck on something, that's completely understandable. But again, you're looking at your audience who is largely not going to have as much time to put into the game as you are. Now let's get into the reasons why I'm telling you the DLC is not as bad as you think it is, grinding wise. So let's go ahead and make some pretty high tier donuts, and I want to show you what I do to save up on some of my berries. I'll go and look through what berries I already have, specifically the higher tier, and I'll leave at least like one just in case I need to do something really specific, like the boss donuts. I finished the DLC already, so I generally don't need to do that, but I'm gonna do it just for an example. Right here, I saved a lot of my higher tier berries, right? And we still ended up getting a 5-star donut, giving us a 109 level boost. I need 25,000 survey points to get to the next distortion survey, right? And I'm going to show you how you can get all of the points you really need. Now, I will admit that this does require maybe a little bit more skill than most people are willing to put into the game, but I really don't think it's all that bad. Every day, you're going to get a good chance of getting a hyperspace rogue mega arena. It's just the rogue mega fights from like the main story and the DLC, but you're fighting them at level 200 and by yourself. Now, it sounds difficult. Don't get me wrong. It does sound difficult on paper, but I'm going to show you why it generally isn't very hard. Now, the team I'm using is largely the team I played through the game, barring Heatran and Xerneas. So Heatran, I was using Charizard, and in place of Xerneas, I was using Gardevoir. So we'll just switch out those two back to what I had before. The donut that I made before this is not special in any way. I just took any extra higher tier berries I already had and just threw them in, right? And as you can see, that definitely is not like the best donut going into something like this. Obviously, mega power charging is pretty decent. Resistant power psychic, I can't tell what silhouette that is, so I don't know if it's psychic type or not. But item power special is not going to help us here whatsoever. Look at that, it's Altaria. It is not even a psychic type. That black ball that it just picked up will pause your calorie timer. How did you miss that? Look at that. Just a little bit under halfway through the timer. So the reason why we want to be doing these fights, right, is because every time you beat one of these rogue megas, it gives you 10,000 points towards your research goal. Now, during the story, you're giving goal requirements like get 50,000 points, right? And one of them goes up to 100,000. That's not an issue, because if you're not doing the higher tier hyperspace battles and you have enough berries to make donuts for these boss fights, you could literally just fly, like, say, to a Pokemon Center, find a bench to switch over the day, and now that it's night, whenever we open the map, we have a chance of just having another, yeah, right here, of just having another rogue hyperspace mega arena to do. This time it's Hawlucha. I can see what Pokemon that is. But this is one of the reasons why I do not think this game is very grindy. This DLC is very grindy. Because you could just do these fights. And if you don't have the berries to consistently do these fights, I didn't check to see if I actually got any berries from destroying that bonus ball. So we'll just go back and get another 5-star donut, and I'm going to show you what the higher tier hyperspace distortions look like. But see, that one's not even a 4-star, and it gets us to level 103. That ain't bad at all. Let's go ahead and do this one. Hyperspace Wild Zone, level 170. Let's go ahead. Let's do this one. So, whenever you get in here, you're going to want to just do every side mission you can. Genuinely. It's not going to be anywhere near as many points as just doing the fights, but if you have a hard time doing these fights, those Rogue Mega Arena boss fights, then you can just do these. So next thing we have to do after catching the 3 wild Pokemon is just go pick up sparkling items. I'm gonna go ahead and revive Gardevoir because she's able to hit scan. Those floating Pokeballs. So yeah, you can just ignore, like if the Pokemon just get aggroed on you, you can just ignore them. Nothing stop you from just running right past them, and they won't follow you that far either. Here's the other thing. If you have more time after doing all of your side quests inside of a hyperspace mission, you can do other things, like go catch Pokemon you need to. Go farm like some of the items on the ground, like the Gimme Ghoul coins. And you'll get, by destroying these floating Pokeballs too, like any of them that you come across, you're gonna get your Hyper Berries back. Like, using higher tier berries for your donuts is largely sustainable if you're going around and destroying all of these floating Pokeballs. It's absolutely more than sustainable. Like, see, I had 5 minutes on that donut. I'm halfway through it, so I have more than enough time to go find that bonus Pokeball and do whatever the fuck else I want. So let's go find that bonus Pokeball. And these bonus Pokeballs, you're gonna want to be going for too, because this is gonna be one of the ways you're gonna be sustaining your donut intake. I will say this: some of these hyperspace layouts are like really annoying to try to find these, but more often than not, you're gonna have more than enough time to find this bonus Pokeball. I don't think I gave. Oh, there it is. I was just gonna say, I don't think I gave myself enough time to actually find this bonus Pokeball, but yeah. Oh, and here's the other thing I wanted to bring up too. The experience part, not being able to gain experience from defeating wild Pokemon in these hyperspace areas. You just saw there, I got a rare candy from one of those, I think it was the bonus Pokeball, and I got 2 large XP candies from destroying that last floating Pokeball. So you absolutely get experience by doing shit in here. So even though we do have not that much time left, I'm just going to go ahead and leave now because I've done everything I wanted to in here. Just to show you that wasn't a fluke, I'm going to go ahead and do another one. Look over here. I have 2 Pokemon that I haven't caught in here. So let's go ahead. I'm going to give myself the goal for this one to get all of the challenges done inside of this hyperspace wild zone and catch the Pokemon I need from this too. Just to show you that this game is really not as grindy as you think it is. And one of the reasons why this kind of got me so worked up in the first place is because I play games, like, not Monster Hunter specifically. It's been a very long time since I've actually played Monster Hunter. I play games like Warframe. I play games like Call of Duty. Their camo grinds are one of my favorite things to do. Right now, I'm still working on Black Ops 7's Mastery Camo. Obviously, this is a kid's game, right? It makes more than enough sense that the game can be, you know, I guess an easy grind, quote-unquote, for the younger kids, right? Because that's what ultimately this game is for. It's going to be pretty obvious that they don't want to make their games too hard and too monotonous. And that's also ultimately another reason why I'm saying that this game really isn't as bad as people are making it out to be. Oh, I have to catch Pokemon undetected. So we're gonna go ahead and leave those Clobbopus alone for right now. This time I have to destroy more floating Pokeballs, which is fine, right? Because they're quite literally everywhere. You didn't see me. They did see me. That's fine. Let's go ahead and just get the floating Pokeballs done and then catch the wild Pokemon. Unless I can get it done right here. Okay, cool. Also, it is a very good idea to bring in a Pokemon that has a priority move like Aqua Jet and a Pokemon like Gardevoir who has a lot of hit scan moves on them. Just so they can get the floating Pokeballs a little bit easier. Like, Feraligatr is more than capable of going... Okay, well... maybe not, maybe not. But Gardevoir can hit that Pokeball from way down here. Yep. And look at that, we're not even halfway through our timer on this one. Granted, I did use higher... Okay. Granted, I did use higher tier berries for this, but... We have more than enough time to now go around and find this bonus Pokeball, wherever it is. What was the other Pokemon I needed from here? It's not you. Oh, it was Graplocked. It was Graplocked. Let's go catch yourself a Graplocked. I think that was the other one anyway. Oh, and a good tip for the distortions that have rooftop access. Always check it whenever you get to the point where you're doing the bonus Pokeball. Always check the rooftop first, because you can just look across the entire skyline. Because if it's not, you can then spend the rest of your time looking on the ground. There we go. With a little bit under half of our calories remaining, I have done everything that I wanted to in this hyperspace distortion. And we're at almost... We've only done 3 hyperspace distortions. Granted, I am only at 25,000 for the rest of my stuff that I need to do. That's still a little over 20,000 in just 3 hyperspace distortions. That is not bad in the slightest. And if you're doing the Rogue Mega Arena fights, it might take a little bit longer depending on, like, obviously your skill level, but you'd probably be able to do those maybe a little bit faster than these, and you're just getting more points out of it. So by all means, go ahead and farm the Rogue Mega fights. They're not hard. I mean, they're more challenging than the base game, but mainly because you're on a strict time limit because of the calorie burn mechanic, and you're doing it by yourself instead of with an NPC. For the people who want to maximize the effects that they're getting from donuts, you can do that. There's ways where you can reset your donut to get the right effects you want on it. Like, you can press, I think it's up, B, and X on your controller whenever you're on the main menu screen to load from a backup save. The game will create a backup whenever you fly. I could be wrong. I'll correct myself in editing. Whenever you fly to a POI, it'll create a backup save. Whenever you heal your Pokemon at a Pokemon Center, it'll create a backup save. You can abuse that to get the right effects on your donut that you want. There's people out there like Austin John who have videos on how to do all that stuff, so I won't be showing you here. I also just want to point out the kind of hypocrisy about statements like these, like the DLC being way too grindy. People have wanted endgame content for Pokemon games for a very long time. That's one of the reasons why they've given us DLCs. Really, I guess it started with Pokemon Sword and Shield, with the introduction of the DLCs anyway. They've given us so much replay value between Sword and Shield and Legends Arceus and Scarlet and Violet, for example, that when it comes down to it, people love. And I'm not gonna argue with that. The Dynamax Adventure specifically isn't my cup of tea. I don't particularly like Dynamax Adventures, but I see why people ultimately have fun with it. Ultimately, people just want more to do in Pokemon games to begin with, and they've gotten it to an extent, and they're complaining about it. To reiterate, after everything that I've shown you in this video is really stretching the definition of grindy. For someone who is a casual gamer, like my buddy Nick, for example, Common Writer in some of my other videos, he is the most casual, and this is not dogging on him in any way, I love the guy. He is the most casual person in the group of friends that I play with, and he doesn't have any issue with the quote-unquote grind in this game. So I really think people are overreacting. That's where I'm gonna leave my thoughts for today. If you like the video, like it, dislike it, whatever you want to do. If you want to leave your comment on anything for the video, do so in the comment section. I am more than willing to hear out people's opinion. All right, that's it from me. I'll see you in the next one. I also just want to point out, I'm not taking back what I said on Twitter. I think people genuinely, if they play games like Monster Hunter or Warframe, they might genuinely seize on the spot if they really think this DLC grind is as hard as people are saying it is.